Hey guys, Overlord here. I haven't made a video in an extremely long time, but I feel like I had to make one today because yesterday during Summer Game Fest, they announced finally Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition coming out on October 1st. I was hoping and praying that they would announce this game, and they finally did. So I'm a little excited, and what else better to do than to show off my Dynasty Warriors collection, as well as games that are spin offs of Dynasty Warriors and games that kind of have similar gameplay. Now, I kind of bunched my whole collection together in this one bin. I don't really add anything else to this bin other than those things in particular, only because this is my favorite game. This is my favorite genre, and it's my most valuable and most important part of my collection. Is this bin itself here? I have a whole bunch of games, but Dynasty Warriors is one of the first games I've ever played where I was mind blown, and I did start at Dynasty Warriors 2. So I'm just going to kind of undo these here. This is kind of the whole thing in one shot here. I tried to organize it in a way that it's easy for me to kind of go through the games. But starting off, we have Dynasty Warriors 1, where it all started. Very interesting that it was a 2D fighting game before they kind of branched out into this style of beat 'em up, where it was a 3D kind of open battlefield concept. And that is where my first ever Dynasty Warriors game kind of came into play. I remember playing this game non-stop. This game was so good. Um, I think the best part about Dynasty Warriors 2 is the fact that the troops, not even just the officers, felt very impactful on the battlefield. I mean, you could have, a quarter health left and you run into, some average troops, but you could still kind of panic because these guys still know their combos. You could still get juggled by troops. You could still get run over by horses. Whereas the new Dynasty Warriors games, they kind of have a 1 versus 1,000 type mechanic where the troops are kind of more on a linear path. They're not as they're not as fun to fight. In my opinion, they're just so easy to kill. Where in these older games, they actually, they have a fair bit of control on the battlefield. Another thing I really like about this game is the bodyguard system. You can level up your bodyguards to the point where they basically become officers, and they fight for you. I remember as a kid, my favorite thing doing is leveling up my whole entire team, getting 8 bodyguards maxed out, and then going to Hulao Gate and fighting Lubu, but just kind of standing there and watching my bodyguards fight him. They would hold their own for a little bit, but then Lubu would just absolutely decimate them. As you can see, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of the game. I always get asked, why do you have so many copies of the same game? Well, this game is going to get harder to find. More people are going to get interested in it, and the prices are just going to go up. And for a game that I truly love, if something ever happens to it, if the disc stops working, I have multiple copies. And it's not just for collection purposes or reseller purposes. I keep these games, I keep multiple copies for myself in the event they break. So I absolutely hate when people lump me together with resellers, because this is probably the only thing in my collection where I have multiple copies of, because it is my favorite series. I mean, I have a whole bin just dedicated to these kind of games. So you have Dynasty Warriors 3 and 3 Extreme Legends. These are great games as well. Still kind of very very amazing style with the troops. Dynasty Warriors 4 is probably my second favorite Dynasty Warriors game. Fun fact, when I was a kid, I played Dynasty Warriors 2 so much that I actually skipped Dynasty Warriors 3 uh its release window, and by the time I was looking for a new Dynasty Warriors game, 4 was actually just released. So I skipped 3 when I was a kid, which is very interesting. But 4 was freaking amazing. I think my favorite part about 4 is the unknown. Like it was a completely different atmosphere, almost kind of like a dark atmosphere of a Dynasty Warriors game, because it just felt kind of eerie. Like when you first played Hulao Gate, it's like this snowy vast kind of unknown area you've never played before. And then when you first encounter Lubu, he is freaking insane. Like you can't even attempt to fight him. The combos that he has are freaking insane, and he can just basically one hit you. I don't think the game even wants you to go near him in 4, but you can try. And then in 4, my favorite mechanic that they added was the dueling system. Of course, when you run into officers such as Lubu, you get offered to duel. I I was never confident to duel Lubu, but it was certainly fun. Kind of a hidden gem here. Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends. I don't know if many people know this, but this game is extremely unique where they actually have a separate game mode. I think it's called Extreme Mode. I forget what it's called. But basically the mode is basically a it's a randomly generated it's a randomly generated, like you create your own army, and you just see as far as you can go. What's the word I'm looking for? Not a dungeon crawler. It's kind of like a, oh man, it's at the tip of my tongue. I can't remember the exact name of this genre, but basically when you start a run, everything's randomly generated, and every single time it's always different. And not a lot of people really knew about this. It wasn't advertised in Extreme Legends, but when you played this game mode, it was so much fun. And I think my favorite part about this is they actually made the allied AI companions for this game on par with the enemy AI. And not a lot of games usually do that, because I guess they want the player to be the center of attention. Whereas these games, specifically this one, the AI fights alongside you and they actually hold their own against really strong officers. Like you see them doing combos and stuff with you. You see them fighting by your side. It's extremely cool. No pun intended, but it is super fun, because everything's randomly generated. You have to like save your money, and then like you can use your money to buy health, and you can also, you can also recruit people. Like sometimes you'll see Lubu in the shop, and you can recruit him, and he'll fight by your side as a companion. And he's legit. He's like the Lubu from Hulao Gate. Like he'll actually fight like he was fighting the player, if that makes sense. And that added a whole level of immersiveness to the game that that no other Dynasty Warriors game I've seen really had that spark, and that really cranked up the immersion factor of this game. So I really liked it. Dynasty Warriors 5 was really good. 6, oh man. 6, I think they were trying something new. I'm not really sure why they added in like a bar that you'd fill up while you were fighting, and then as the bar filled, you like gain more moves throughout the battlefield, and then it resets every match. So like the moves that you gain, you don't keep them. You have to like rebuild them up every single battlefield, and I thought that was a weird mechanic. Um, Definitely kind of ruined the feeling of building up your favorite character, because you build up your favorite character for the whole battlefield. He'd have like max moves, but then the next fight you'd start, you'd have to build it up again, and it really ruined that for me. But the best part about Dynasty Warriors 6, I think, um, is when they added Manguo in here. He's an other character, and what's really cool is, for some reason, they specifically targeted his design, and they changed the way he fought. They gave him a new weapon, and the weapon that he used in this game is really cool. It was like a tropical tree instead of his usual gloves, and like he can like bash the tree on the floor. He was really cool, and they even changed the way he looked. Like in Dynasty Warriors 6, he has like this more bulky, strong kind of look. He's not kind of like this fat, slow character, like Shuju, with the huge, um, kind of weapon, the flailing weapon. Um, Manguo in this game actually was strong, but I don't know why they did that, and then they brought him back normal in the other games. They were definitely trying something with him. Um, but yeah, that's probably the only cool thing about that game. Seven was really cool because then you could see seven. They were trying to go back to their original roots, and eight is just peak. Eight was really good. It still has that one versus 1,000 formula where the troops aren't, crazy difficult, but they brought back the cool Masu attacks. They brought back the combo system that everybody loves. They brought back a lot of the unique characters. I know in Dynasty Warriors 6 there's a lot of clone characters. Even in 7 there was a lot of clone characters, but in 8 I think they really tried their best to accommodate the fans, and they did a good job. 9 was pretty good. They kind of brought out this open world aspect to Dynasty Warriors. It was pretty fun. I didn't really get too into it, but I know a lot of people that did like it. Dynasty Tactics. I am missing Dynasty Tactics 1. That is one of the games I'm missing. I have the full Gundam series. Gundam is a very fun game. I even have Gundam. I think it's Gundam Reborn. This game is pretty hard to find now. I ordered this game from Play Asia when it was released. Strike Force is a very unique game as well. Just kind of picture Monster Hunter, I guess, where you kind of go to different areas on a map and you're fighting and you clear it, and it's kind of gridded off. Not so much kind of open world, but it does have the Dynasty Warriors feel, and you can like transform in it. Um, you got Berserk, that's a really good game. Bleach, Hyrule Warriors. Samurai Warriors is probably a series that goes hand in hand with Dynasty Warriors. It's like the Japanese version on their take of what Dynasty Warriors would be like. And then really sick, you have Sengoku Basara, which is an amazing game. I mean, if you guys like Dynasty Warriors, you should definitely try Sengoku Basara. It is one of the best games I've ever played. It's basically Capcom's. It's basically Capcom's version of what Dynasty Warriors would be like. Just kind of take that in, like some of the games that Capcom's made, and it's their take. It originally started from a game called Devil Kings. I guess they called it something else before, and then when they actually released the third one in the West, they called it Sengoku Basara. Samurai Heroes, sorry. I don't know the history behind that too much, but I do know that this was the first game, and this is the third one, and then these are kind of some DLCs and stuff. I did eventually end up getting Sengoku Basara for Samaragi, and I also got Sengoku Basara for the original one. Like, these were all imported because they didn't have these in the West before. Sengoku Basara 4 never came to the West. This one did, though. Basara, this is kind of similar. But what I don't like about this game is that it only allows you to play one player. Like, Sengoku Basara 4 is a two-player game. I don't know why they went that way. Like, there's this version of it which is a two-player game, and then One Piece. Amazing games. I love One Piece and Fist of the North Star, and 99 Nights. If you haven't played this game before, it's really good. As well as Transformers. God Hand's a really good one, and Warriors of Troy. And some other games here. If you guys want me to go in any depth of anything else, please let me know. But thank you so much for watching and have a great day, guys. Peace.